I'm Bob Wageneck, and I'm here to tell you my testimony and how it relates to Believer's Edge. I talked to Johnny Mullen a couple weeks ago about his talk on going from isolation to integration, and it really caused me to think about how Believer's Edge has been impacting my life since I got involved with it, and how it can impact your life. But in order to tell you how it's impacted my life, I have to go back 35 years ago. 35 years ago, I was born anew, but as a full-grown adult with all the problems that comes with that. And I had developed into a full-fledged alcoholic. I really had a drinking problem, and I begun to realize how that had caused me to be isolated from the body of Christ, from the fellowship within the church. I didn't see it as a problem before becoming a Christian. It was just part of my way of life, and that had gone on, and it had gotten worse. But as a Christian, I realized that was separating me from the fellowship of the body. And I tried to do something about it. I worked for years trying to quit drinking. When I would come home from work at night, I'd be kind of uptight and tense, and I'd start drinking to loosen up. And I just loosened up, and it got worse and worse over time. But I was always talking to the Lord about, I know this shouldn't be in my life, and I want to get rid of it from my life, but I couldn't do it. And I was an isolated Christian. My career, my outward appearance seemed like it was doing great, but inwardly and in my private life, I was miserable, and I was separated from all of the abundant life the Lord wanted for me within His body. And I was not an effective Christian. I wasn't doing anything. It's kind of hard to enter into church functions when you're drunk most of the time. So it caused me to be isolated. And I know there's a principle here of the flesh, Satan, and the world system. If they can't keep you from being a Christian and accepting the Lord, they'll try to keep you isolated and keep you from being effective as a Christian. And my drinking problem was really playing into that strategy. So I was a miserable, born anew kind of guy. And one night, after everybody had gone to bed, I sat down and cried out to the Lord, told Him, I've tried and tried and tried to quit, but I can't do it. If anything is going to be done, Lord, You've got to do it. I don't have the strength. And I give it up to You. I remember hearing from the Lord at that point. He says, I've waited a long time to hear you say that, to give it over to me. Now it's done. And it was. In just a moment, whatever it was that had a hold on me left my body. And I haven't had a drink in the last 35 years. I don't have a problem with anybody else drinking. The issue was mine. But it's no longer a part of my life. And it's as if it never has been a part of my life. When the Lord heals you, He totally heals you. And it's as if that sin that kept me isolated never existed. It was a complete healing, a complete restoration. And because of that, I can enter into the activities within the church I can be a part of what the Lord's called me to be. I can be a part of what the Lord's called his body to be. And I don't have to worry about the problem of drinking or any of the other things. And drinking was not the only problem that I had in my life that the Lord wanted to take away so that I could be freed up. The Lord said he came to give us abundant life. And that's not what I was enjoying. That's not what I was experiencing. I was experiencing a very not abundant life. But now he's changed that. And the whole principle, again, is to take my will and not try to solve my problems, but to turn my will over to the Lord's and align it with his will and allow him to heal me of the things I needed. And he'll do the same thing for you. And I know there are fellow believers who are listening to this who have the same kinds of problems I had. They're isolated from the body because of the sin that's in their lives. And sin will isolate you. And it causes real frustration. But you can have those problems healed. It doesn't matter what they are. Alcoholism, pornography, anger from past experiences, fear, whatever it is that will tend to isolate you from the body that the Lord wants to take out of your lives. Just recognize what they are, turn them over to the Lord, and allow him to heal you, and he will. Well, that brings us to today in Believer's Edge. The Lord has taken me from being a shy, introverted, self-centered kind of a guy to being a guy who loves to be down at 6 a.m. in the morning and greet all the guys coming into Believer's Edge. I really love to do that, and that's a gift from God. I love to share my life with these guys, to pray with them, to hear what's happening in their lives, and to maybe share some of my experiences, to hear their experiences and the victories the Lord's brought in their lives. The Believer's Edge has a very sharp, cutting edge, two-sided. And meeting with these guys is an abundant life that the Lord's given. And now we're able to go from being isolated individuals into an integrated group, an integrated part of his body, responding to his calling in our community, doing his will and his purpose. And it really doesn't get any better than that. So that's my testimony. I'm a guy who's very appreciative of what the Lord has done and what he is doing, and a guy who really is excited about what the Lord wants to do in other believers' lives. So give him a chance. He'll do it in your life. God bless you.